goal today is just to walk you through, as they're using an enrollment or a call center. What we're going to do is the employee is going to provide you with their full name, first and last name, along with the last 4 digits of their social security number. In addition to that, they're going to provide you with their date of birth, and that'll be their password. So the first step to this is going to the actual site. Recommended browsers are going to be Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox. Try and stay away from Internet Explorer, and I think the new ones like Microsoft Edge. Not so friendly with our site, as it is a secure site. So just we experience a few issues with those every now and then. So just keep that in the back of your head. Don't try and search for it like on Google or anything like that. You won't find it. The website is benefitsconnect.net/KKP security. And if you need to, I can provide you with the login instructions again. So
yes, please.
So these rules up here, I know it says like a username and all that stuff. I can revise that. I actually will, if you would like me to, because it doesn't apply. That's our usual default, is to go to the social, but we're gonna make it the date of birth.
Yeah, that would be preferred if you do revise it.
Yeah.
So the date of birth is the username.
Okay, so for this instance, I have a test employee. His name is Demo. His first name, his last name is Test, and then his date of birth is January 1st, 1980. So the username in this situation is going to be the last 6 digits. If they don't have 6 digits in their last name, you just type out the full last name. The first digit of their first name, which would be Demo, so we're going to do D, and then the last 4 digits of their social. So they don't have to provide their whole social, just the last 4. The password, you can't see what I'm typing, but it is a 2-digit month, 2-digit year, and then 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and then 4-digit year. No hyphens, no slashes, nothing like that. So 01/01/1980. That should take us in.
Gotcha.
This is just a usage agreement. Now we're pretty much logged in as the employee. We're just going to keep moving through. I haven't pre-populated any information, so you can see exactly what it'll look like when you're going through. Some of this information may already be pre-populated based on if the employee's logged onto the system and input this information before. All the items on the left side, similar to like banking sites and secure sites, they're all required. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in as quickly as I can for time's sake.
And how did you get to this page? Did you just hit next or something?
Yes. So there's always going to be like a save and continue, a next, a back, or something like that. Stay away from using this back button up here. It's going to cause you nothing but difficulties. So let's just keep that in mind. It is a secure site, so whenever you're going around things, you should probably want to use one of the buttons on the actual site. And for that reason, the reason we do that is because if not, it'll lock you out. And we do have that happen from time to time where somebody uses this button, and since again it is a secure site, it kicks them out, thinking that somebody else is trying to log in. So we want to avoid that because the system will reset itself. It typically just takes about 30 minutes, which obviously nobody wants to wait 30 minutes to get back in. Marital status. So go ahead.
Hey, this is Bo. Good morning, guys. Maybe a good point to Scott, if you could take down this phone number, just in case one of your enrollers gets stuck, or gets locked out or something like that, they can contact GIS and be reset. Okay. It's 727-209-4227. Is that correct, Cliff?
Correct, and you can dial extension 0. We've got a customer service team here from 8 to 5. Ready to help out with like login issues and such.
Was it the first 3 digits? Was it 727?
Correct.
I got it. Thank you.
All right. So we'll go ahead and just say this person's married. It's going to prompt us for some additional information because we did put that. Another mandatory question is this tobacco question that you have to answer. So we'll just say no. Something that'll pop up here. Is this effective date of change? No need to worry about it. It's going to automatically input today's date, so you don't have to put anything there. And we're just going to kind of continue through everything. Again, it's just confirming everything. This was the date I was hired. This is an old employee, so we'll see some differences in the system based on that. This is where you're going to add dependent information. We'll go ahead and add one of each, just if it's not in there already, or if maybe.
Yeah. Can we go back?
Sure.
To the employment screen. Scott, this screen here, the screen after the demographic information, the enrollers do not have to do anything with this screen. It's always a save and continue. The information's already populated. You don't need an effective date change because you're not really changing any information. So they're always going to save and continue through that page after demographics.
Okay, so I think what I'm hearing you say is do not put a change date in there.
Correct. Not necessary.
Yes. So to the team on the call here, just make that a point.
Yeah.
They say on this page.
All right. And again, this will take you to the dependent information page. And again, all items in bold are required. It's going to start to pre-populate information that it's already been input, such as the address for the employee.
Bo, remind me, is the group already on this, or is this new to them?
They're already on it, yeah.
Okay, so most of this will already be there.
Yeah, the majority of spouses and the independent children would be already in the system, correct?
Right.
Yep.
And if they are, as soon as it gets through this, I'll show you.
All right,
so here spouse and children. It'll show the spouse that's already in the system when you get to the screen where it says test spouse. It'll have that spouse's name that's already plugged into the system, so you can just verify. I've got, Bonnie Jones as your spouse. They can say yes or no. You can delete the person, add a new one, whatever you need to do. It's the same thing for children.
Any questions on this page?
No.
All right. Save and continue. Now it takes us straight into the benefits. So what you'll see here is we put some noting up here in red for the items that require a PCP, which are 10 digits. And the system's set up to require that information. So if the plan does require it, it's going to prompt you for that information. So I don't know exactly how you have it set up, but all the information that you need as far as costs and stuff like that will be broken down semi-monthly, and it'll all be displayed right here in a running total. So that can all be looked at right here. A couple items down here, just questions. I don't know if, Bo, you want to touch on those? I don't know if those are required right now or...
I honestly never touch those, but so
okay.
I would just say that I think they're already pre-selected yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say don't make it a big issue. Just kind of go through it.
All right.
Don't worry about communicating with the employer or anything. It's all that stuff has been shown to the employee.
Gotcha. If they wish to know more about the plan, all that information can be found right here, which we've uploaded, SBCs and all that good stuff. So you just select those and have them readily available. This plan does require a PCP, as you can see right here, and it'll prompt you to fill out the information here. If you need to find one, because the employee doesn't know the number for that 10-digit code, you can click here and it'll take you to the Florida Blue site, and that can be found.
Bo, is this a new carrier for them, or will that already be in there if they're already enrolled?
It's not a new carrier. I don't think that rolls over, does it, Cliff?
It does.
It does? So if
it was already in there, it'll definitely be there.
Okay.
But obviously if they change plans or something like that, like go from the blue options to the blue care, they may not have had that previously. So.
Correct. Yeah. So blue care is going to be the one you're going to have a PCP. Blue options a PPO and not necessary. So just two of those plans. Obviously the low plan, I believe, is a blue care. That 47 plan, I think, is the low plan. If I may be mistaken though. But I'll tell you that a lot of times when I'm enrolling on GIS or Benefits Connect here, I will elect the default. So if you went into, click on the click here to select your primary care provider, Cliff. So there, I would just put in 10 nines, or I think it shows 10 as the number of digits. So I would just select a default PCP, and the carrier will select someone that's within 5 miles of the radius of the employee's home. This is difficult to do in a call center setting or even one-on-one, because most times the employee doesn't have any idea. And a lot of employees don't have a doctor, even if they're on a blue care, they might have just chosen one out of the blue and never seen them. So they can always choose another provider at any time. They can always contact the carrier and change that. So that's what I do a lot of times. You might just have the enrollers ask the employee if that's okay, if they select a default provider. If not, then you can go through and go to Florida, floridablue.com, I think, and search a provider. It just gets a little bit messy, and with the time allotted, sometimes that's just not feasible.
Is the link embedded there, Cliff?
So if you select a plan, like let's say we're going to do a blue care plan, and you try and save it and go, it's going to tell you need to fill out a PCP. And then if you need to locate one, it does have the link right here. So.
So in that section right there is where we put in, what'd you say, 9 nines or 10 nines? What was that?
Yeah, the section right there.
Mm-hmm.
So the PCB format. See, it shows a format of 10 number signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 10. So it's 10 nines.
Correct.
And that will get it.
And now I will give you a little bit of a hint there. I've had sometimes it show 10 number signs, and I put in 10 nines, and it kicked back saying it's not in the correct format. If it does that, it's 5 nines, not 10 nines. I don't know it's a little quirky that way, but it doesn't happen a whole lot, but just in case it does, I don't want you to get tripped out.
I have a question regarding if you're selecting children. If somebody has a 24-year-old that is not going to be on the plan, let's say they're dropping them off the plan, but yet they have another child, how do we show that someone's being dropped, or do we not have to worry about that?
So you wouldn't have to put them, like if they had like 3 or 4 kids or whatever the case may be, you can select each individual kid.
Okay, so if there was more children listed, you would click on who. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it's not just under one child, for everybody.
So the reason it's not showing now is because you only have one child dependent listed.
Correct.
Okay. All
Point.
Keep on moving. Everybody good?
Yep.
All right. Well, let's not do that one. Next one takes you to the dental, and this one's going to be very similar with the DHMO requiring some kind of PCP selection. This one is in a 5-digit format, and again, it takes you to the MetLife site, very similar to what we just saw with the medical Florida Blue. If you're to select the PPO, obviously it doesn't do it, and again, you can select family or whatever the case may be. All summaries and such will be found under the outline of benefits.
And just one more time, Cliff, if they are currently enrolled, let's say they're enrolled in the PPO plan, it'll look just like this when we enter the dental. It'll already be defaulted with the costs and everything. Is that right?
Can you repeat that?
If I'm an employee and I'm currently enrolled in the PPO plan here, when I get into the dental, and I as the enroller get to this page, will it be defaulted like this, where it's already elected with the tier?
It should have their election up top. But because this person didn't have anything, it's not going to show it.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're actively having to click on each plan to make their new elections all the way through.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it.
All right. Keep on moving. All the benefits all the ancillary stuff similar to this is very similar. So Vision exactly the same. If you want to waive coverage, there's a waive option right there. With the new short-term disability plan, we've got the new Allstate benefits. We have the 6-month benefit and then the 3-month benefit. If they wish to see the options that they have, it's all right here. These are per pay period deductions.
Now that would be set up strictly based on their salary, correct?
Correct.
So if somebody's only making $25,000 a year, they're not going to qualify for the 2,300. So will that be shown as an option?
No, it'll definitely cap it. I
Okay.
think that I can't remember the plan designs off the top of my head, but I know this one does go up to 2,500, or no, I think it actually went up to 5,000.
Yeah, I think it does go to 5,000.
Yeah, and this person makes 50,000. So, for instance,
Yeah,
they can only get a.
Yeah, the max is shown that bottom number.
All right, so again, pick whichever one they'd like. If for some reason they wanted to make an adjustment back and say, okay, that was too much, so just make sure you press that back button. Voluntary life, I want you to just take a quick peek over here. It goes from voluntary life to group accident. That's not on accident. It's because we don't allow the spouse and children to be enrolled in the voluntary life without first electing the employee. So we have a guarantee issue of $100,000. So if they were to go over that amount, it's going to automatically say, hey, listen, you got to fill out an evidence of insurability form. It's going to automatically download it for you. Being that this is a call center, what I can do after open enrollment is complete is send Alltrust who requires an EOI, but it may be beneficial to let the employee know. At this point in time, they're going to be enrolled for 100,000 or whatever their GI is.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to get that additional 100,000 up to 200, they need to fill out an evidence of insurability form. And all this is logged in the system, so I can pull that information and provide it, whenever needed. So, any questions on that?
So, Bo, what would be the best way to handle that? Should we get a copy that we can email to them, or just go with the post-enrollment report from GIS, or have the employee log in themselves, self-service, after we enroll them to pull down the EOI?
Would your enrollers have the ability to email?
We can,
during
sure. Yeah, we can do that.
That may be the best. That may be the best. I think that's the only EOI we're going to need. Yeah, that would be the only EOI necessary. So if Cliff, can you get them the EOI for MetLife?
Sure.
The PDF.
Again, the first time you go over the guarantee issue, it's going to prompt you with one. But I'll go ahead and send it over.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, you'll always have it.
So when it prompts you for an EOI above the guarantee issue amount, can you bypass it? Because we won't have time to do it.
Yeah, no, it's not requiring you to fill it out. It's just letting you know, hey, listen, if you want, since you've gone over the GI amount, you have to fill out an EOI for the additional amount that you've elected.
Okay. One note here. One note. If you look, the box shows $200,000 and its cost of $1,370. When you get to the consolidated enrollment form at the end, that cost will not show $1,370. It's only going to show the amount that's guaranteed, and that's $685. And we'll see that when we get there. So that's one thing you'll need to be cognizant of when you're giving the employee the total deduction amount, that if they did go over GI limit on all life, that total is not correct. Once they're approved for the full amount, then obviously the total would be different.
Gotcha.
All right.
Got
so
it.
Now,
so we're going to be required to email. What if an employee doesn't have email?
Yeah, well, then the report's going to come in. So we're going to make our best effort to get the EOI to the employee. But if there's a case like that where they don't have an email or whatever the reason is, I would still go with the report on the back end, just to identify the ones that need it, just for a backup process. That's a good point.
Yeah, so I don't think we're talking about a large majority here, so we'll be good with that.
Okay.
All right. Now we have the option to enroll the spouse and child if they would like to. Again, the GI is going to be listed right there, so if they go over it, the same process is going to happen. They're going to be required to fill out that evidence of insurability.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they have multiple children, this would require them to elect all. This is an all or nothing type situation. So if they had like 2 or 3 kids, every single one of them would have to be elected for the same amount of $10,000.
Is there an
So
age
it's $10,000
specification
per child, and there's a rate per child as well.
It's all one rate, so it'd be $1.04 for
It
the
covers
family
all.
rate. Correct.
1 or 10?
Gotcha.
Now, is there an age cap?
There is. I'd have to look and see what the design is. Let me see if I can find it on my other screen here. Hold on one moment.
We can get into those little details in the benefit training tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You can proceed, Cliff.
Okay. Let's see. So the accident plan, same kind of concept applies for like the dental, vision, medical, all that good stuff. Enroller wave. This is the critical illness plan. Got some special language up at the top. And then again, same idea if they want the $10,000 or $20,000 plan. And this is the hospital plan, same idea. So this is the last benefit. I'll just make a note real quick. So right here you have your running total, $273 per pay period. So once you click Save and Continue, it's going to take you to your beneficiary page. Excuse me. And to add the beneficiary, hold on one moment for me. Okay. So if they already have a dependent in the system that they would like to list as a beneficiary, you can go ahead and just do that, and it'll pre-populate. It makes it really simple. If they don't, only thing that's needed is the first name, last name, and then relationship. We don't need any of this additional information. So just keep it real bare bones on this one. In order to put those benefits on there, you just select both of them. They can put a contingent beneficiary in there. They can put as many as they'd like, really. So the big thing to note here is that it has to equal 100%. So if you put in 50, it's going to say, hey, listen, you can't do that. You have to have 100. So no matter what, if there's 1 or 3,000 people in here, it just has to equal 100%.
So Cliff, like the dependent information, if they're already enrolled, are the beneficiaries chosen fresh each enrollment, or would they be defaulted in there as well?
They'll carry over.
Gotcha.
So whatever they had previously would be there.
Okay.
All righty.
Yeah. So Scott, a lot of this is the enroller will ask the employee, would you like to maintain your beneficiaries as Bonnie Smith? And they're going to say yes or no. She passed away. If they add the beneficiary, like you said, please don't let them get hung up on socials and addresses and all that stuff for the beneficiary. First and last name and the relationship is all they need.
Mm-hmm. Okay. After that, this is obviously step 5 of 6. This is the last page. So this is going to give you a nice recap of everything that the enroller just did. It's got some special language in here. But again, everything from putting our address in at the very beginning to beneficiaries at the very end, and then we have everything in the middle, which are our plan elections. I don't know how you want to go about this, if you want to recap it or not, but if not, you mentioned emailing at the end. If you want to print this page to like a PDF format, send it over to the employee as a confirmation, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Big thing is for us to keep track of who's gone onto the system is to make sure that this finished box is pressed. And what that does is it flips it over from an incomplete status as far as enrolling in the system to a complete status. So we know, hey, that employee's gone onto the system, or the enroller's gone onto the system and completed this employee's enrollment. So once you press finish, you get that little confirmation enrollment complete, and that's it. So if they need to, go ahead.
I didn't see in the system that we chose to change the password. Is that because it's a test employee?
It's because it was masked differently. I was actually looking into that earlier because I thought it would tell you to change it, but since we had it default to something different other than the security or social security number, it didn't prompt for that. Now, if they want to change it, if they do want to change it, you could always go to the personal information and select password, and they can change
So are you
it here.
saying that it's not going to prompt them to change the password when they log in?
Correct.
Okay. Just in case it does, Scott, if we can just, for all of your enrollers, if they have to change the password, if for some reason the system prompts that when they first log in, if they would just do first and last name all lowercase, no spaces, to make it streamlined.
Okay.
And the enroller can let the employee know, hey, I've had to change your password. Here's the password to the system. If you want to log in, you can change the password. The employee can change the password at a later time to make it private. But first and last name, no spaces, all lowercase. And that way, for some reason, you need to get back in. Everybody knows what that password should be.
Gotcha. Now, for that confirmation, Cliff, does the system email them a copy of that, or do they have access?
So that's why I was explaining. So if you need to get a confirmation, you'd go to the benefit plan information, this consolidated enrollment form. Again, this is going to show you everything. So this would be your most beneficial confirmation as far as sending out an email, but the system doesn't automate something like that, unfortunately.
Oh, so this is not, is this created in a PDF or something that's emailable?
Yes, so you can save it as a PDF, and then just email it to the person.
Well, what's the expectation here on this?
I've never ever utilized that, and I don't ever set an expectation that we're going to utilize that. The employee has access to the system after the fact.
Okay, good.
So yeah, there's no action necessary on your part, Scott.
Good deal.
Now, big thing to note is that if you're using one browser, such as Google Chrome, you can't have more than one browser open with the Benefits Connect site. It's going to see that as like a hazard, so to speak. So whenever you're done enrolling one employee, you want to make sure that you press the log out button. Don't touch the X button. It's not going to log you out. So make sure that you press the log out button before you move on to the next employee. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to make sure it's very clear.
Yeah. Cliff, if an employee, let's say an employee has 2 appointments, they make one later because they want to change something. How do we go in and make that change?
So you would need to know the employee's password, which is what we just discussed. Well, if they changed it. If they didn't change it, then it would just be their date of birth again.
Yeah.
So you just go back and do the exact same login. If they left off, like if you got halfway through medical and the employee decides, hey, I'm not really sure, I need to speak with so-and-so about it, then you log out and go on to the next person, and that other person comes back and says, okay, I figured it out, I want to do this plan. As soon as you log in, it's going to prompt you, it's going to take you right to that medical plan where you left off.
Okay.
So you won't have to fashion through all the other benefits or anything like that. Now, as a quick guide, if this employee that we are just working with comes back and we've already finished their enrollment, and they say, oh, I want to go from, the PPO to the DHMO, if you go to that consolidated form, it's a quick access. You can just go to any plan that you'd like and switch it. And once you save it again, you obviously have to do the PCP, but yeah, once you save it again, it'll populate here, and all that information will be updated.
And you hit finished again to make sure.
No. So the person's already complete. So in our heads, in our system, it's already done. So if they make any adjustments past that, there's no need to complete them out again, so to speak.
So how do you end this then? You just log out?
That's it. You just press the log out button right there. Done.
Okay.
So, and then from here, if you want, you can just put in the new employee and keep moving.
Right. It's pretty straightforward. It's very similar to a platform that we use, frankly, and it's all built out with classes. So whatever we see in the system, that's what the employee is eligible for, that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they've already been on this platform is extremely helpful. So dependents and beneficiaries are already populated. Benefits are displayed. We just have to push the buttons and confirm what they want going forward. So it seems very straightforward to me. For my team, do you guys have any questions about this? Obviously, we'll get you the link and the login, credential process.
Okay.
Prior to starting, but Cliff, do we have access to this test environment to kind of navigate at all prior to enrollment starting, or?
No, not per se. I can give you a couple test employees if that would be beneficial.
We'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Cliff.
Sure. Any other questions or anything I can assist with at the moment?
I don't believe so. So Christina has been recording this, guys, so we'll send the link out to you later on today just for your reference. And when we